لو حد شايفني بس ممكن يأكد لي إن الصورة واضحة والباك جراوند مظبوط، كله تمام.
صباح الخير.
صباح النور.
معلش انا بظبط بس الاجهزه عندي برضو.
تمام.
لا الشعار تمام.
تمام.
طب ليه اللي حاطه الشعار مش حاطه الخلفيه اللي كنت باعتها اللي هي البانر؟
هو أنا المفروض أحط البانر؟
يعني البانر بيبقى عليه صورتك وعليه صورة
طيب
واسم
تمام. أنا الحقيقة فهمت إن لازم أحط ده، بس أنا ممكن أغيره دلوقتي.
ماشي غير، أنا برضو بظبط عندي عبال ما تغيري عندك ونظبط مع بعض، مفيش مشكلة.
طيب تمام تمام حاضر.
السلام عليكم دكتورة حنان، دكتور محمد فرج.
السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
يا دكتور محمد ازي حضرتك؟
ازي حضرتك يا دكتور؟ ازي حضرتك؟
الحمد لله. ان شاء الله البانر اللي هيبقى ورانا على الصورة اللي هو البانر اللي احنا بعتناه لحضراتكم.
تمام.
فنحط البانر ونفتح الكاميرا كده عشان نظبط مع بعض.
افتح كاميرا.
اها تمام تمام. البانر بقى الخلفي، ان نحط البانر اللي هو اللي كنا بعتناه لحضراتكم، اللي فيه صورة حضرتك وصورة الدكتورة حنان وصورة دكتورة المستقبل مروة.
السلام عليكم.
السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
ده الموبايل بتاعي.
الو الو.
طيب هو البانر جاهز على الجهاز عند حضراتكم؟
أيوه، أنا بس بحاول ألاقي فين الآيفون.
على الشمال تحت اللي هي عند الفيديو، مش انت بتعملي ميوت وجنبها فيديو؟
أيوه 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 تمام.
علامة الفيديو دي فيها سهم صغنن قوي على اليمين.
مظبوط.
اضغطي على السهم الصغير ده.
فيرتشوال باك جراوند.
ايوه واطلعي لفوق تشوز فيرتشوال باك جراوند. بالظبط كده. تمام
ده
تمام. دكتور عبد الناصر لسه ما جاش برضه، لسه في انتظار. دكتور محمد فرج معانا؟
ايوه مع حضرتك، بس هنزل بس البانر بقى من على لاني شغال من على جهاز الكمبيوتر، يعني هنزله بس
تمام
من على الموبايل.
تمام. زي ما انت عايز، مش هتفرق.
عندك وقت تعمل؟ عشان
عندي وقت واعمله.
عشان يكون حد
هتبداوا انتوا وانا اعمله. دكتوره حنان. دكتوره حنان ربيع، هو حضرتك قافله المايك؟ لو حضرتك سامعانا، حضرتك قافله المايك والكاميرا. ايوه دي الكاميرا تمام. المايك جنبها على الشمال
كده المفروض فتحاه، بس انا ليه مش شايفه؟ بس سامع حضرتك ثواني. مش حضرتك مش سامعني؟
لا انا سامع دلوقتي.
طب خلاص كده يبقى تمام. حضرتك شايفني وسامعني دلوقتي صح؟
شايف وسامع، ناقص الخلفيه بقى.
اما انا بدور عليه لان والله انا ما نزلتهاش، انا فاكراكم وانتوا هتحطوها فانا عشان كده ما جاش في
ما
بالي.
مش انا اللي هحطها على الجهاز عند حضرتك
لا، لا.
هتحطيها على جهازك.
لا انا في بالي ان مش هتطلبوها مني، يعني ان انتوا تفرجوني عليها، فانا بدور بقى عليها في الواتساب، فاتحاها على اللابتوب وعماله ادور هي فني. ايوه تقريبا اهي. خلاص تمام، على ما يبدو وصلنا ان شاء الله. احفظها بس لا
يعني احنا بنحاول ننقذ ما يمكن انقاذه، يعني لو يعني تعثرنا او ما حطيناش الخلفيات او كده طبعا يعني هنبتدي، بس يفضل طبعا الخلفيه تبقى منوره بصور حضراتكم كده، والباحثه تبقى منوره معانا طبعا.
ان شاء الله.
بقينا شايفين البانر كده. جاهزه يا مروه؟
ربنا يستر.
ان شاء الله.
اصل الفضيحه على الملأ بتبقى.
لا ده لسه هننشر كمان على الفيس كمان.
بلاش النشر.
لا ده هيطلع على الفيس دلوقتي
خليها كده ملمومه.
يعني.
ربنا يستر.
لا يستر ان شاء الله.
من زمان الواحد ما حسش
الرعب ده،
بالقلق والتوتر ده. عذرت ولادي والله بيروحوا الامتحانات وهم منهارين، عذرتهم.
بالظبط كده. لا بس برضو احنا لما بنكبر بتبقى يعني
العلقه سخنه
بتبقى العلقه سخنه. ولادك جنبك دلوقتي؟
بره مستنيين اللايف. قاعدين مستنيين اللايف.
مستنيين اللايف.
ده عاملين فشار بقى وهتبقى.
ده داخلين سينما دول. دكتور عبد الناصر. ونقول اهلا لدكتور عبد الناصر. اهلا ومرحبا. اهلا ومرحبا. الدكتوره امنيه معانا. طب انا هقفل الصوت عندي عشان ايه؟ اشتغلي.
السلام عليكم.
لا.
عليكم السلام ورحمه الله وبركاته.
السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام ورحمه الله وبركاته. تمام.
مروة ازيك؟
منهارة.
لا ازاي، ما شاء الله عليك. من نوابغ الدفعة ما شاء الله عليك يعني.
ربنا يبارك في حضرتك. شكرا.
من الطلبة المتميزين عندنا بأمانة يعني.
ربنا يخليك يا فندم.
الله يخليك يا دكتور حنان. اهلا
اهلا بحضرتك.
ازي حضرتك؟ اخبار حضرتك ايه؟
تمام الحمد لله.
الحمد لله على سلامة حضرتك.
الله يسلم حضرتك والله.
دكتورة حنان أنا كنت متخيلة حد يعني كبير في السن، انت صغنونة. ما شاء الله، ربنا يديك الصحة.
ما شاء الله.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
عليكم
السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. هنا يونايتد ستيتس اوف امريكا. كان دكتور الشافعي دايما يقول هنا القاهرة، فأنا بقول لك هنا يونايتد ستيتس اوف امريكا.
دكتور محمد ازاي حضرتك؟ وحشنا كتير جدا جدا. ودكتور أمنية
والله حضرتك وحشنا أكتر يا دكتور.
أهلا بيك يا دكتور، عاش من سمع صوتك وشايفك. ازيك؟
ربنا يحفظكم يا رب. ربنا يحفظكم.
وحشنا والله.
درجة الحرارة عندكم كام يا فندم؟
والله بتتفاوت ما بين انت في الشمال ولا في الجنوب.
هو احنا عندنا هنا على حسب اللابتوب مديني حرارة 22 درجة سلسيوس.
لكن تحت في الجنوب عند كاليفورنيا وتكساس الدنيا مولعة.
عندنا الدنيا بايظة طبعا. يعني سعيد الدكتورة حنان، بروف حنان بقى يعني وحشتني جدا 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 جدا.
انا مش عايزه اقول ان انت تلميذي هتكبرني.
لا يا فندم، تلميذك واربع ارباع كمان يعني.
اقول زميلي بقى بس، يعني زميل سابقات كذا سنه بس.
لا حضرتك عفوا طبعا استاذتنا. وبروف محمد بقى انا سعيد جدا جدا نلتقي بحضرتك كمان يعني بجد والله.
الله يخليك يا دكتور مصطفى. الله يخليك يا فندم.
دايما احنا مجمعين الحبايب كده
والله.
طيب احنا
دكتور حنان وصلنا لايه للخلفيه؟
والله انا نزلته، بس كل ما باجي احطه كباك جراوند بيقول لي فيلد، مش عارفه ليه، مع ان انا نزلته على جهازي وكله تمام.
طب بتدخلي صح من الستارت فيديو من السهم الصغنن اللي جنب الفيديو؟
ما عملت فيجوال باك جراوند وكله، بس ونزلته على جهازي.
خلاص هو يبقى امكانيات جهاز، مش ممكن يكون الجهاز فيه حاجه يعني.
مش مشكله
يعني كده احنا
مش مشكله.
هحاول تاني لو قصادنا دقيقه، او حاول واحنا شغالين، مفيش مشكله.
لايف.
انا بحاول انزله تاني مره تانيه، ممكن يكون ما نزلش كويس ولا حاجه.
طب احنا
دكتوره مروه مستعده يا دكتور مروه ولا ايه؟
انا كل ما اجي ارحب بدكتور فرج دكتور عبد الناصر يتكلم، مش معقول عايزه ارحب بدكتور.
لا خلاص انا هم دقيقتين هتكلم فيهم، بعد كده مش هتكلم خالص، مش هقدر
انا عايزه
اتكلم.
ارحب بدكتور فرج بس من ساعه ما دخل مقطع عليا دايما كده، مش
اهو
معقولة.
بس اهو يا دكتور اهو.
اهلا وسهلا بحضرتك، اهلا وسهلا بحضرتك يا فندم.
لنا الشرف والله يا دكتور نكون مع
ربنا
حضرتك ومع دكتور حنان ودكتور عبد الناصر. صراحه ما شاء الله يعني انا بعتبر ان نفسي يعني محظوظه لما بكون مع الكوكبه دي من العلماء. بامانه الواحد مجرد الحديث معاكم بيستفيد يعني.
ربنا يخليك يا دكتور، ربنا يخليك. ان شاء الله مناقشه متميزه للباحثه والتجربه دي هي اول تجربه لينا يعني مع حضراتكم، بس ان شاء الله تبقى تجربه ساره يعني، ونبارك للباحثه في نهايه المناقشه ان شاء الله.
يا رب. شكرا.
ان شاء الله باذن الله.
نطلع لايف دلوقتي على الفيس.
اوكي
لحظات.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am Omneya El-Sheikh, President of the U.S. University of Technology, Science, and Arts. On behalf of myself and on behalf of the university, I would like to welcome all of you in the competitive technical discussion chaired by Professor Muhammad Farag, and the committee with Dr. Professor Hanan Rabia and Dr. Abdel Nasser Bakr for one of our outstanding students, Marwa Defense. And I would like to welcome all the attendees with us, participants, for being with us here. Shall we start this discussion with a welcome note from Dr. Farag? So please, Dr. Farag, you can start now. Please.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Omneya, for this introductory and kind words and appreciation to present us for the attendant. So I extend my special thanks to the American University in Indiana, the Faculty of Educational Technology Department. Today we are going to discuss and referee the work of Marwa Qasim. This work titled The Effect of Gamification in Kindergarten Children Academic Achievement. I'm also very happy and I'm honored to participate in this discussion with my colleagues, Dr. Hanan Rabia, Dr. Mustafa. I'd like to say something first before we start the discussion. And there's some regulation. I don't know the regulation of the university, but I suggest some regulation to start the discussion. First, to give enough time for the researcher Marwa, 10 minutes, just 10 minutes, just 10 minutes, no more than 10 minutes to inform the committee of the detail of her study. And this detail should contain the following. The problem of the research and the importance, the hypothesis, and how Marwa designed and developed the gamified environment, and then the main result of the study, and finally what's the main recommendation of the study, how the beneficiary, like designer, teacher, and student, Egypt, can benefit from your result and your study. So first, I'll give this time for Marwa, and then we go through the procedure of the Viva to start first with Dr. Hanan to discuss and referee the study, and then my turn, and finally we leave the time for Dr. Mustafa to comment on our or to give feedback on our discussion, and at the end of the discussion, and we will take about 5 minutes to inform the student about our decision. I don't know. Is this
yes, I will. Yeah, this is the regulations. And first of all, I just would like to Dr. Abdel Nasser is not the supervisor. Is Dr. Abdel Nasser, is Dr. Mustafa.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And the second, after the discussions you will conduct with Dr. Hanan and yourself and Dr. Abdel Nasser, after you discuss with the researcher Marwa the whole thesis, we will go for a virtual room, a separate room, break room, to discuss all the outcomes, all the comments, all things with together, and we'll come back to the main hall with the decision. That's okay?
Okay.
That's great. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Should I start with sharing my presentation?
So we'll start with Marwa first. Okay, Marwa. Okay, Marwa. Just to give you 10 minutes to give us an overview of your studies with the criteria mentioned before, the problem and the design and the main result, and we after your presentation, we will start first with Dr. Hanan Rabia to comment on your study and give you some feedback and corrections. So please, Marwa, I invite you to start your presentation.
The effect of gamification on kindergarten children academic achievement. First of all, my acknowledgement is my first praise to Allah for His countless blessings and gifts that I've been offered for the helping and giving me the power to pass safely through the difficulties and overcome them. I would like to extend my sincere gratitude and respect to the great Mr. Professor Dr. Abdel Nasser Bakr for his guidance, support, and inspiration. He devoted much of his time and effort to help me complete and achieve my work in the best as it is. Words cannot express my thanks to my mother, Professor Amal Hussein, for believing in me and guiding me, and her immense encouragement. I am grateful and thankful for my loving husband and my backbone, Engineer Muhammad Basuni, and my children for their patience and encouragement and their love that enabled me move forward despite of all the obstacles. Special thanks to all the professors in the U.S. University for the quality of work and administrative staff, and to everyone who helped me reach where I am now. Great thank you to the kindergarten team, and great thank you to everyone who associated with my research. I would like to move on to the problem. First of all, it was a mere introduction about the kindergarten and the important stage of kindergarten in the educational and the value it holds as really the beginning of elementary education and its effect on children's scholastic achievement. The study aims to assess the effect of using gamification on KG children or foundation stage children and their scholastic achievement. The problem, the traditional teaching methods, fixed methods, are reported and depending on the memorization and theoretical learning, thus deprives the young children of creativity and innovation and motivation. Theoretical teaching rather than the practical instructions in traditional classrooms deprive the learners from retaining and recalling the information and concepts because they rely on memory and they lack the attraction of full attention of young children, which decreases their interaction and engagement and information storing. Gamification and learning games are innovative approaches that suits today's young learners. The recent researchers in the field of cognitive science and educational neuroscience showed how gamification is a promise to, and it's a promising approach to all early childhood education specialists. It aims to provide children with rich variety and serious game activities, then challenging experiences and interacting in interactive environments. Gamification plays an essential role in enhancing creativity and learning skills in children. The most important factor for learning that have been identified strengthen children's skills are attention, active engagement, feedback, and consolidation, which all can be offered through a well-designed game. Limitation of the study were the characteristics found in the foundation stage, the educational and technical standards of gamification in the kindergarten stage, the features and the characteristics of gamification designed in the KG department, and the impact of gamification on academic achievement of KG students. My methodology. The study was done in a well-known school, in a reputable school in Cairo. The subjects were 60 kindergarten students from randomly selected 2 classrooms. The study adopted a quasi-experiment design that requires 2 groups of children, an experimental group and a controlled one. Implementation of pre-test and post-test to control group design formed its benefits as it overcomes the problem of equivalence as the 2 groups subjected to the same pre-test, which indicates if they are equivalent to each other or not. Because subjects to experimental variables, the treatment were more accuracy and reliable of results. Designing e-content-based gamification technology requires a simple educational model to follow, and we define the best one that we found for developing educational programs consisting of reliable fashion. So we use the ADDIE program. To determine the educational design model, I used the ADDIE one. And its 5 components: the analysis, the design, the development, evaluation, which consisted of formative phase and summative phase. Setting the test instructions, it contained short descriptions of the test and how to answer it. They were clear and direct, asked the students to answer all the questions and had chosen answers only. Scores estimated and correction methods were 1 mark for each test, for each question. So they are more than 1 mark if they have, if the question has more than 1 part. Validity and reliability, since the tools will be the lesson plans and the validity of the lesson will be tested for its content and face validity by jury, and 5 experts from the field of KG education to assert and relevance completeness. It will be done before the pilot study. Reliability of the tools will be estimated among 10 KG students using the test-retest methods with 1 week apart between. Then Cronbach's alpha will be measuring the reliability, and internal consistency will be calculated between the 2 scores. The independent variables are gamification, and the dependent variables are the academic achievement. These are the two areas that we are focused on. The participants, as I mentioned before, were 30 KG students in 2 classes, 16 total. Duration of the experiment took about 6 weeks. It was a learning block in the school. It was during the academic year 2021. The following table shows the distribution of the groups accordingly. The tools of the study, as I mentioned, we use the pre-test that has to be applied as a baseline assessment. The gamified e-content website, we used Kahoot and WordWall. Post-tests applied at the end of each unit. The procedures we initiated, these are more procedures to guarantee our the ethics in our work. We offered an official letter that was given the administrators of the KG implementation. A copy of the approval letter was given to the KG academic advisor. An assignment of 2 classes, either experimental group, gamification group, or no game group. Scheduling dates to conduct the study. Duration of block study was 6 weeks time. Setting another appointment for the academic advisor for feedback. Approval letter issued from the ethical board of US University. An introduction letter was addressed to the principal and selected schools. The gamification and no game were prepared in the same interest and gave the same important content of the unit. I have to say that to conduct my research, we had to do a training program for the teachers to be able to conduct the research effectively and efficiently. The hypothesis, kindergarten children who will attend the classes using gamification will have higher achievement scores than the children who will attend the non-game classrooms. There are statistically significant differences in the levels at the using of e-content based on gamification technology between the post-test, both control group and experimental group. The researcher used independent sample t-test to investigate the significance and differences according to the average scores of the total of the research by measuring the means of student scores on the post-test of the 2 groups. Hypothesis 2, there's a statistically significant difference in the level between the pre-test and the post-test. Experimental groups in favor of the post-test. The researcher used, again, paired sample t-test to investigate the significance of differences according to the total average scores of the tool of the research by measuring the mean student scores on the pre-test and the post-test and the experimental group. The results obtained assured that the use of gamification has very strong impact on and effectiveness on using gamification to develop academic achievement in KG stage. And the use of gamification in educational setting towards using gamification developing kindergarten stage involved pedagogical approaches, methodologies, and strategies. Several motivational strategies and approaches used in the traditional pedagogical are also part of this transition, including behaviorism, cognitive approaches, along with the social interaction and social cultural theories. Based on this research, many recommendations were given, introducing educational, such as developing KG stage curricula using gamification technology, introducing educational courses in kindergarten teachers concerning the design of e-content according to its specification and its audience characteristics, focusing on teachers' lesson planning to develop their techniques in planning their syllabus and presenting using gamification strategies, providing courses for teachers to be familiar with the psychological and physical cognitive development of their learner age, providing ready-made gamified e-content to be referred for the teachers, and further research is recommended for scholars to research the effect effectiveness of e-content based on gamification to develop reading skills in KG, also listening skills, and other skills such as mathematical skills and phonics. I think I did not exceed my time.
Have you finished, Marwa?
Yes, I'm done, sir.
Thank you very much, Marwa, for your presentation and keeping in consideration the time limit. And so now we are request Dr. Hanan Rabia to start discussing the researcher, and if Dr. Abdel Nasser want intervening during the discussion, is this allowed to intervene during the discussion? During
Actually, after discussion from the panel, Dr. Abdel Nasser will end the discussion by any comments or any reference you can say. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Omneya. Thank you, Dr. Omneya. Okay, Dr. Hanan, kindly I request you to start the discussion, please.
Okay. Hi, Marwa.
Hello, Dr. Hanan. How are you?
Are you ready today for discussion?
We'll see, inshallah.
I am glad to discuss you, and I wanted to thank Dr. Omneya and Dr. Abdel Nasser, and I hope you find my corrections useful for you.
For sure.
The first, the chapter 1, okay? You give the chapter 1, the title. Tell me the title about chapter 1.
The effect of gamification on kindergarten children academic achievements.
I think it's not suitable. Always we name chapter 1 introduction to study, because it's an outline for your research. Okay?
Okay. Actually, the title introduction was the first title under the main headline, but I will change it into introduction.
Okay.
Sure.
Introduction, your introduction, I think it's not enough. I hope if you can persuade me about your problem. You need a lot of previous studies to focus on your problem, because I didn't feel it's a real problem. Do you understand me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So you want more elaboration on the problem of the study?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Also, in page number 12, the last 2 paragraphs, there is no references. There are no references.
I'll just share. I'm sorry. I'll just share the document.
Okay. Okay. No problem. Significance of the study. Okay, but where is the statement of the problem? Tell me about it.
The problem is the current way of teaching and the development of curriculum in this age. We have been using the same kind of treatments and curriculum mapping and designing since the previous millennium. There has to be some kind of upgrade for as it is mentioned in all the scholars researchers, that number one, we have to understand our client. The current and the recent child in kindergarten is not the same as 10 years ago or 5 years ago. The development has happened rapidly since the technology took over their lives. These children are equipped and allowing in their homes, they have iPads, telephones, mobiles, tablets, and they're available and under their arms most of the time. So to be depriving them from this kind of interaction in their learning, while now outside Egypt or mostly outside the Middle East, they are depending more on the technology, but we are still relying more on the traditional way of teaching, and that's actually the main problem, because children who are used to these kind of methods, they suffer from lack of enthusiasm. They don't have the perseverance or the patience for learning. So you have to create a new media for them to be able to learn through their current nature. The technology has been part of their day ever since they wake up until they go to sleep. So it has to be involved with education as well. I think that's more what you need to know and what you need me to add in the problem.
It's good, but I hope you write all of these phrases in your introduction. But statement, you must one word or a main question.
Okay.
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 You can summarize what did you say in
Sure.
one statement.
Okay. And page 12, right?
Okay. Definition of variable gamification. The term gamification is still young for children, but you can say recent.
Okay. Okay.
I think also for the paragraph number 2 in page 16. You wrote, for the purpose of the current study, gamification is defined as the introduction or application. Introduction not suitable here. Okay, you can say application.
Page 16.
Yes,
current study introduction for application. So we should change it. I'm writing, just a second.
Okay. Achievement terminology. You wrote gamification is an organized. Where's the definition of terminology achievement?
Achievement was not one of the keywords.
Achievement you wrote as a title, and after that, gamification is an organization.
Okay. Gamification is an organized structure that contributes to student achievement.
What is the title? What is the title?
The achievement. Okay, we will change it to attainment, or do you want me to elaborate as what are the meaning of achievement?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Also in terminology, okay, you wrote feedback. It's not your variable. Why you wrote feedback?
I thought that I can write keywords in terminologies other than my hypothesis and my research questions.
No, you must focus on your variables.
Okay.
Chapter 2. Okay. We have been finished chapter 1.
Okay.
Chapter 2. I will tell you some criteria to review all your literature, because I don't need to tell you everything, every word. Okay. The first criteria, your chapter is very long. Chapter must be from 20 to 25 pages. I know you read a lot of references, a lot of boxes, but you must constrain when you write your chapter. You have a lot of items, you can delete it. You don't need it at more. Okay, like what is the relation between Freud theory? You don't need any gamification. Okay, because this theory constrained on sexual development. Okay. Also, research literature is not about.
May I ask something? Isn't this part of characterizing a KG student? Because part of one of the questions or one of the interests was understanding the characteristics of the kindergarten child. So, okay. So no need to mention the developments.
When you write anything about characteristics, you must focus on characteristics related to gamification.
Okay.
Not in general. Or you will write a book about kindergarten and children's characteristics. Do you understand me?
I understand you.
Everything not related to your variables, you must delete it.
Hanan, because there is a relations between characters or features of children and the features of youngifications. So we have to link between them.
Yeah, that's okay. That's right, what I want to say. Also, all series should focus on which related to gamification and kindergarten. I think you wrote a lot of theories, but you didn't link between it and the kindergarten or gamification. Okay. Also references. I think you have a lot of references are very, very old. So when you talk about gamification, you must document from 20 years ago. In page 22,
okay.
The first references from 2011. It's too, it's very old.
Okay. Actually, when I did my study, it was a very difficult thing to find research on the topic. It took me a long time to try to find.
But we have basic reference.
Yes, yes. That's why whenever we found something, we always thought it was a valuable piece of information.
Okay. Also, I need from you to delete every paragraph doesn't give you any value in your research. Okay.
Okay.
And
anything specific?
Page 24. In page 24,
okay.
You wrote about the historical background of gamification. You don't need this. You need to link everything with your variable, not to talk in general, not to talk a lot of statement, a lot of paragraphs, but you didn't need. Why you tell me about historical? If I need to know about historical, I will go to the book. Okay?
Okay.
Also from page number 24, 25, I think all of this must delete. 25, 26, evolution of gamification. You don't need also in your research. But the benefits of gamification and online teaching in 27, in page 27, the first the references from 20 years ago. Did you understand me, Brinsky?
By Bartel, 2004?
Yeah.
Bartel, 2004?
لا, 2001. The benefits of of the
It was
benefit
more of
gamification.
stating history. It was more of stating like a chronological timing history of how it developed from that time towards the end. So to give us more of a chronological idea.
Okay, but I hope if you focus on your in everything related to your research, this will be useful for you.
Okay.
Here you distinguish between game-based learning and gamification and serious game. I don't know. I can't understand this comparison. If you
Game-based. Do you want me to elaborate? Okay.
if
Game-based
you would
learning.
like, you can. يعني if you, I think you can delete it. But if you insist to,
مش هيفضل حاجة.
your literature is.
يا ريتني عرفت قبل ما احطهم. It took months.
60 pages. It's too long.
Yeah, I agree that chapter 2 is very long, but it has all the theories and all the, it's like assumption of theories about the development of children as characteristics of children, theories of gamification as how it started, theories of education. So if anyone wants to understand the chronological development and how the theories went, I gathered them all up in one. I understand it's very long, I understand. Even for me to read it and reevaluate it, it was very long.
You can write 2 paragraphs, but every word in its place, but not all of think about this theory.
I think I was afraid that you would ask me otherwise. So I put them on. I gave you a big
No.
meal.
You wrote a lot
meal.
of series. You wrote a lot of series.
حاضر. Okay.
Okay. يعني Maslow, I don't know why you wrote about Maslow, but no problem. Leave
Because
it.
it's the needs. This actually, it was a door to open about the children's needs and wants. And nowadays, they consider technology as part of their needs and wants in that flow. That's why because it's the hierarchy of Maslow's needs and wants for children. And that's why I used it as a part to lead the way to using gamification in classrooms.
Okay, leave it. Maslow.
خليه بلاش مصر بحبه.
Also about you wrote about types of 1 minute, types of players.
Yeah, the killers and the
It's about, but I need to give me an application about this in your research and your experiment.
Okay. I think the killers was the term that it was used in the researchers as those who join a game to compete against each other and seek winning. And that was what we were introducing in the Kahoot program. They are competing against each other, who will get the points, who will get the badges, who will attain more, and that's why they are referred to as killers. This is not my terminology, it's actually a terminology published in papers.
Gamification features, okay, is very, you wrote it. 1 minute about kindergarten. Kindergarten, I will tell you anything. Just if you can summarize this
The factors. You want me to limit the factors a little bit? Okay.
Achievement, measurement of achievement. Yeah, it's too long. Yeah, just one page for achievement, because all of us know of achievement. Okay. I need to write a conclusion after gamification, after kindergarten.
After each paragraph,
think,
there is the 2-3 lines that concludes the theory.
in gamification, not a theory. I think gamification as a part.
Okay. A summary, a conclusion.
Okay. This will be importance of preschool in children lives. I think you can summarize.
Okay.
Okay. One minute, I will. Okay, I will. I think I finished chapter 2, methodology. I think there is items not in your methodology chapter, like the sample. I didn't find the sample. I didn't find the. I think a sample. The sample.
Is it when we did the randomly selection and we did the we
And
did like,
research participants. I think you must delete it and write the sample.
so change the title.
Yes, change the title.
Okay.
Research. I will first. I will need to talk you about instructional model. You wrote it as you must write in your literature, but I didn't find any application of an instructional model on your gamification. I need to know what is the step did you use in design?
We used a ready-made program that is already on the market. It's called Kahoot. And we had to change the content of the program because you are using the curriculum manuals. So the curriculum manuals have the learning outcomes for each topic. So we used those learning outcomes to create the games or the activities within the games that suits the learning outcomes. This is where we use the ADDIE to make sure that everything was working correctly.
In page 76, the right question, read the right question. It's the first question, sorry.
Just a second. 76.
What is the typical background?
What is the typical background of the students, participants who will undergo the program? Personal and educational information such as age, nationality, previous experience, and interest should be determined. Keep going.
How? You didn't write anything. What about your characteristics of your children?
But these are the ADDIE. This is not my my thesis. This was asked in the ADDIE analysis. This is the analysis type. This is the first part of ADDIE, and I was just stating what they asked me to do. This is not something I did. It was created in the ADDIE.
I know. What is the application of this on your?
So you want to see the sheets that we? Okay, I will put them in the annex. However.
Okay.
You want me to add the
all of faces? You must link between it and between application in your gamification.
Can you help me to understand how to do this?
The first question, what is the typical background of the student? You can say, my children age range from what?
You want the answers of the question. You want me to add the answers to the questions? Okay. Okay, add the answers.
Because this, like, I can write as like this in a book, but not in research.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
To all the 4 questions, you want answers should be following all 4 questions.
But in all phases, on all phases.
Yes, yes, understand.
Not one phase.
Yes, yes, understand. All until a page.
Take a note, please, Marwa.
Yes, I'm writing everything.
Okay.
What about research tools? I need to know. What is your research tools?
The tools are there. It's all mentioned.
It's one or more?
2 tools.
Like the first test, okay? Achievement test.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pre and post test.
Okay. You wrote about instruction, but what about the aim of this test? The items of this test. How did you design this test?
Actually, the test is taken, or these pre and post tests are also from the guides manuals of the curriculum. We did not create the tests. It's and it's mentioned in one of the paragraphs that it's from the guide, from the teacher's manual of the curriculum. We did not create the test because we're teaching the same curriculum, the same block content. We only added the gamification as a stimuli, but the content itself is ready, tailored in the teacher's manual. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we did not change the content. We added a stimulative part to it, which is the gamification, to check and see what is the difference between the outcomes at the end.
Why you didn't try to design a test?
It's not in one of my research questions. Maybe that could be like a paper to follow, but this was not part of the research at all.
This test is written or paper and
it's a paper test. It's a paper test.
Paper test.
I think the main focus was the teaching methods.
And how can you calculate the reliability?
Sorry?
How can you calculate reliability?
Well, the mean between the post and the pre-test and the post-test in the control group and the experimental group can give us some idea of how the curve will change.
I thought it's from a guide.
No.
Procedure. I wanted to ask about you. I wanted to ask you why you didn't write any notes or any comments from your students.
It's there. It's there at the last part. How they were enthusiastic about joining the trip. The students mentioned how it was fun. They're waiting for the time to go, because we did not have. This is part of the limitations that we have. We did not have a computer lab. So in order to actually do that experiment or the research, first of all, we tried in the classrooms. And we have the touch screens and all that. The first problem was the noise level, because again, the age of the students, they did not get to participate all at the same time because the timing of the lesson did not allow it. So the second part was this was also in the testing period. So we had to do something else. Maybe ask parents' approval and participation. They all have laptops and tablets. If they can participate by sending these items. Not all parents were cooperative. Again, this is one of the limitations, the human limitations. So the answer was to take the students 3 times a week to go to the computer lab in the school, where that computer teacher, the IT teacher, the IT personnel, and the teachers and the assistant teacher will manage how the students will use the laptops. There were 2 children on each laptop. They all joined the lesson, and it was such a happy time. They all, first of all, because they're going to the big kids school. The KG department is a small building, and in order to go to another building, they had to go to another path and take the stairs and go to the computer lab. So it was such a trip for them. 3 times a week, morale was up, enthusiasm, excitement. They were so happy. They thought we were taking them for a treat to play, not actually learn. But the results of the post-test was amazing, because they did much better than the children who were in the control group, taking all the traditional way of teaching with the enthusiasm of moving.
But I think if you can write some comments, some notes of students, this will reach your.
I think I did write them. Let me just search where I put them. I think I wrote them in the last chapter.
Okay.
With the pictures.
Okay. Chapter 4, results. I will discuss with you about discussion.
Okay.
In page 91. Okay. Eta هو table, the table. Why you put eta in the table? You didn't say anything about it in paragraph.
I'll just have a look, just a second.
Table 4.1, total results.
Page 91. 91. Okay.
At the end of the page.
Okay, total results mean value.
Eta square.
Okay.
After significant, eta square.
Okay.
Why did you calculate eta square?
To be honest, I had help from someone who is very good with the analysis, and he helped me calculate all the means, because I'm not very good with the statistics, so it wasn't really my addition. I'll go back and ask him.
But I didn't find anything about eta square in your discussion.
No, we actually didn't use it at all. We did not use it at all. Take it off, delete it.
Okay, or you must write anything about it when you discuss your result.
Okay, so I'll add a paragraph or delete it. Is that correct?
Okay. Yes.
Okay, delete or add a paragraph to explain it. Okay.
Discussion. Your discussion is very poor. Why? Because the previous studies, you didn't concentrate on the something related to your research. So I didn't find anything I can tell it's enrich your research. Also, what about series? I didn't find series here. Discussion without series. I think you must discuss in the light of series. Did you understand me?
Yes.
If you read all paragraphs, it's very general.
Okay.
And didn't relate it to your studies, previous studies, didn't relate it to series, didn't relate it to children characteristics.
Wasn't that the whole idea of stating them at the beginning? So when we are talking about the stage, we can always also, again, it's the chronological development of the research. when I learn about the characteristic of a child, and then I get involved with the statements that and the actions that happen and the research that happened, and then I find that so it was part of the whole path. Don't you agree, or it's better to be at the end only?
I think your discussion must write a lot of things to make it very useful for everyone. When I read it, I didn't understand anything, just in general paragraphs wrote in general. I need to know this is research about gamification and about kindergarten and about series which explain about gamification, and you must link about all of these items. You must link your variables in your discussion. Did you understand me?
Yes.
Recommendation, okay. Further research, okay. Your references, a huge
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
38 pages. Why?
Each of the things that we're going to delete had a lot of books to read.
Oh my God, yeah. Okay, but you must follow ABA style. ABA style.
The APA format, yes.
Yeah. Okay, and when you delete a lot of items, I think you will delete a lot of references.
Of course.
But it's too long. Yeah, this part is too long. All of references. You can also omit everything is not new. And every reference is old. You can delete it. Okay.
Okay.
I will move to summary. What is that? Yeah. In the summary, I will find introduction. How many pages? Count how many pages.
I'm opening just a sec. The annex are 4.
In summary, introduction must be 1 paragraph, 2 paragraphs, not 3 and 4 pages.
Okay.
Okay. Gamification against game-based learning. Why? Why in summary? Serious game and gamification. No titles in summary about introduction.
Okay.
Introduction 1 paragraph, no titles in it. Okay.
All right.
And the gamification features. And you wrote again a literature again. Academic achievement. Research 145. Okay. Page number 145.
Okay.
Read research hypothesis.
Just a second.
Hypothesis. Read.
Just a second. I'm getting the page.
Okay.
145.
At the end.
Research hypothesis. Patients who will receive home-based nursing intervention, coronary artery. Okay. I think that was a.
Deleted and put yours.
Okay. Okay. Materials and methods.
Research design, I think you must revise your language, formal language.
Okay.
setting the data collection. The data collection will conducted using a multi-stage selection. I didn't understand. Multi-stage of what?
Okay.
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 Fine. Validity and reliability, not here. Deleted. It's not suitable to put it in here. Okay.
Just a second.
I think we must revise all elements of summary.
The validity and reliability, move them from here totally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Procedure, yeah. I think your procedure is not suitable. يعني everything about official letter, copy of the approval.
This is an administrative procedures.
Administrative?
So I'll just add the word administrative.
Like what about the design procedure? What about
that's in the methodology on top.
Results, okay. Conclusion, accommodation, further research. But further research here are different. They are not the same. You put it before in
the research part.
Yeah, I think they are not the same.
Not in the same as the presentation. Okay, I'll just add this.
Annex, okay, I will not say anything about annex. I hope you find my discussion is very useful for you.
Very useful.
Thank you. And I appreciate so much your effort.
Thank you so much.
But your thesis, you need to delete a lot of items, summarize, and focus on variables. Okay.
Will do, inshallah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Well, thanks and appreciation to Dr. Hanan for her rich and interesting scientific discussion and sharing her idea with the researcher, and hopefully the researcher and Dr. Abnasser, supervisor, take into consideration this correction in the final print of the work.
Inshallah, sure.
Inshallah. Now it's my turn. I'm going to discuss Marwa. I will not take a long time. But I see the study is characterized with many positive sides, but require more effort in filling some gaps and need minor correction. So we start with the positive side of the dissertation or the study. First of all, I'd like to mention a main interesting point for me, which is the subject matter, the subject. Choosing the subject matter and the nature of the sample and population of the study, very interesting. In fact, using gamification for academic courses or its impact on academic achievement is one of the important topics that have been of interest for more than 10 years. Gamification research was conducted in educational context, especially with postgraduate and graduate student, and so choosing kindergarten children to be the sample of this study is very interesting point and very interesting positive side of the study. The second positive side of the study is the guidelines for research in educational technology field. I mean, in terms of chapter characteristic, classification, scientific writing, educational design and development, and the procedure and the method of presenting and discussing the research result are well done.
Thank you.
And follow a rule and regulation for writing a scientific work in educational technology field. The third point of positive side of the research is the study main contribution. The study can make many contributions to at the level of field practice and opens the door for more research in educational technology field, and the result also can be important for many parties like teacher, student, designer, developer, and many parties. The scientific writing of the literature review, however, it may require some correction and will be referred later in the discussion. The fourth side of the positive part of this study is the researcher try to follow a systematic procedure for the design and development of the content of the study by using the ADDIE model. Also, one of the positive side of the study also is there's little linguistic and methodological error in the body of the study. But these are some of the advantages of the study in general. But we are here not only to say the positive side of the study, but we try to highlight a number of inquiries or challenge about some issue related to the study, which need more effort from the researcher. So I'll go first with chapter one. Chapter one. As Dr. Hanan said, the title of the chapter should be introduction and not the title of the research. So should be first, we modify the title of the chapter one to be introduction and not the effect of gamification, blah, blah, blah. Chapter one is designed to show the reader how your research is important and what the research problem and how the researcher felt the problem, then the question related to the research problem and the hypothesis, and what's the importance of the research. And when reading this chapter, I found several issues need more discussion with the researcher and some improvement. In introductory page 1 to 10. In introductory page from 1 to 10. Marwa, you put a title of index in the introductory. Is this right?
Index.
Index. So the function of index is different from table of content.
Yes.
So you should change this title إلى table of content. Table of content.
Okay.
Then each list, like list of table, list of figure, should be in a separate page.
Okay.
Should be in a separate page. You should add a table of appendices. Appendix 1, 2.
I have that. I'm sorry if you didn't get the modified one, but there is a
You
table.
can put it in the final version of the study,
Okay.
the print version. I agree with Dr. Hanan. The title of chapter 1 should be named Introduction. Should be named Introduction.
Okay.
Chapter 1.
Okay.
Chapter 1 overall contains some unclear statement of defining the research problem. It should be adjusted to show the justification for why this research was done. So you need to do some amendment related to the introduction. The research problem, the question, building the hypothesis, and more care about clearer, to be more clearer for the target reader. Example of error and correction required from the researcher are listed below. Page 14. Page 14. The last two paragraphs in the introduction and for presenting the importance of the research. Can you go to page
14.
14?
Yes. Page 14.
So the last two
Significance of the
paragraphs.
study. The significance of the study.
No. The last two paragraphs in the introduction and before presenting the importance of your research. Last two paragraphs.
Gamification learning games are innovative approaches that offer better education as an effective way addresses in the problem.
Yes. You started the introduction with a general statement about the stage, and then you go through the importance of gamification in this stage. Okay?
Yes.
But at the end of this section, you return to talk about the childhood stage.
Okay.
And its characteristics and things I see you need to be modified in the final version.
Okay.
The introduction may need some improvement, including rearranging introduction paragraphs. So let's go through the introduction. It's very important to talk about the early childhood and the importance of employing gamification strategy and presenting the content of the course with the help of gamification. And you go through comparison between the current environment for traditionally presenting educational content for kindergarten classes and the need for promising strategy for developing motivation, participation, engagement as a gamification strategy. And then, as I said, the introduction here plays a role of a prelude to the variable and the subject of your research, and play a role as a function of overview of the problem and determine how the researcher felt the existence of this problem. So at the end of the introduction, you need to identify the research problem through two axes. The first axis is field observation. Field observation of practice. The second axis is previous study and research supporting theoretical framework and in the field. So through field observation in pre-university education, especially the kindergarten stage, in most schools, and through interview conducted by the researcher with many teachers and those in charge of educational design and development of learning environment. So the researcher reached a conclusion that most teacher and designer developer of education for different method, searching for different method and strategy to support kindergarten children learning and kindergarten education in particular. And then you move through that kindergarten education in particular may suffer from long and extended period of time from problem related to the use of traditional methods and traditional strategy that lead children in lesser participation in learning activity and low motivation to learn, which affect the achievement rate in academic subjects. Okay. The second axis, the second way of defining the problem is the review of previous research.
Previous studies. Yes.
Okay, the review of previous research and studies in field of gamification and on academic courses. In reviewing the research, you should reveal many points. You said to Dr. Hanan that there is a shortage in research and gamification. No, there's a lot of research in gamification. When using research, reviewing the research as a part of your problem definition, you should go through the majority of gamification from inclusive results. And some study confirm that improving.
I'm sorry. I can. I'm sorry, sir. Can you just repeat again? الصوت قطع. أنا آسف.
When you review your research or your gamification research, you should focus on that the majority of the gamification research suffer from inclusive results. As some study confirm improving achievement and internal motivation with gamification approach courses. Okay?
Yes.
While other study indicated that there is no difference at the level of motivation and academic achievement. And a third type of studies say that the gamification approach has no effect on academic achievement at all. So there is some research that tried to reveal the impact and effectiveness of gamification on learning, on academic. Did you read about gamified learning theory?
Gamified learning?
Theory?
No.
It is the main theory to design your environment for gamification. This theory says that academic achievement will not affected by gamification because gamification has external motive for students.
Yes. Is this by Dici and Laura?
By what?
Dici? Is this the study by Dici?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's all about the stimuli, external stimulation and internal stimulation and the motivation.
I'll try to give you some article about this theory. Perhaps benefit you to in the final print of your study.
Thank you.
When you're reviewing your research in gamification on academic achievement, there are a lot of things you can say to support your problem or your research problem. One of this is previous study indicated that most gamification research does not depend in the majority of its design on a theoretical basis. And so you take a theoretical approach to design your gamification environment. Another point you could say in your stating your problem is most of gamification study concerned with student at the university level or postgraduate level, and you take another age group like kindergarten group, and so this could be a justified example of your research problem. Also, you could support your research problem with the review of gamification research, that most of gamification research was concerned with a field like computer science and information technology, with few study in other educational fields. So you can say something like that. There are many other problems related to the small sample of the studies that conducted, and so you, which may reduce the value of the result at the level of generalization. Okay. When you go for page 14, the importance of the research. Okay. The importance of your current research may also need some modification in the wording to clarify what the research result can contribute or the implication of this result for field practice. Example of this could be, does your research contribute to bridging, for example, the gap in gamification research in courses, or opens the door for more trends of research in unsolved methodological issue related to the effectiveness of gamification? Or you understand me, Marwa?
Yes, I understand. Yes.
Okay.
I think it supports. I think it supports it opens doors for researching about the early childhood, because
Yes.
this is a special. It's a new area to address gamification in.
Yes. So another point or another suggestion for the important part of your chapter 1 is, does your research contribute to directing the attention of educator, researcher, designer, developer of electronic content based on gamification in kindergarten education?
Should this be added as some of the, should this be added as part of my variables
and discussion?
Yeah.
Yes, yes. And
So
related also to the importance of the research.
Okay, so it's an addition to it, yes.
So does your research provide a set of design criteria, guideline for educational designer, developer regarding how to develop electronic content in learning environment based on gamification?
But I think this is a bit far from my choice, because I did not go into the design itself. Or should it be included as well? We use the ready-made model, already established tool, but we did not go into designing our own games.
If you use a ready-made design, like so, what is your
Kahoot?
If you use a ready-made design, so why you follow ADDIE model?
Because we needed to alter the content inside the game. The game itself has many choices, and you can tailor it into math, science, and language, and in different areas.
but the ADDIE mode include a lot of steps like
It's the 5 steps.
a lot of steps related to the design and the detail of the development of your treatment. And so,
Yes, the analysis. I understand. Yes, the 5 different steps of it.
okay, let's go for research question, page 15. Page 15.
Okay.
Research question have some error in phrasing the question. As in the first 3 questions, these 3 questions are revealing the characteristic of the stage, the educational and technical standard for the design of gamification environment, okay, for this stage, as well as the characteristic of the design of gamification for this stage, which are questions related to procedure and not the research problem.
Okay.
So, in my point of view, these questions should be deleted, and because it is not directed to the research question. I know that a lot of educational technology research would or try to build a question like that. So what is the design? What's the form of blah blah blah? What is the skills? But I think these questions are related to the procedure and not directed to the research problem. So I see that the last question is, or the fourth question is directed to the research problem, but the first 3 questions are not related to the question. So
Okay. So they can be moved into procedure questions
yes,
instead of research questions. Yes.
Yes.
Understand.
Because you know, if you answer a question like what's the design, so what are you going to say? I use ADDIE. Is it a research question?
Yeah, but we cannot use it because we did not design the app.
Okay. Fine. The research question is should be directed to the problem and related to the hypothesis. So what is your first hypothesis? The first hypothesis was to compare achievement between experimental and control group. And then the second hypothesis was to compare the pre-achievement with the post-achievement of the experimental group. Is it right?
Yes.
Yes. So the questions can be formulated in the light of this hypothesis.
Okay.
You can split question 4 into 2 questions related to these 2 hypotheses.
I understand. Yes.
So you can say, for example, what is the effect of different type of learning environment? Okay, a learning environment based on gamification against a learning environment without gamification on the academic achievement of kindergarten children. And the second question could be, what is the effect of a learning environment based on gamification on academic achievement? In the second question, you can compare pre and post achievement.
Okay.
Did you study for retention?
Retention?
Yes.
Information retention?
Yes.
Did I do a study? I didn't study a retention. It was part of the study in whole, but not specifically the retention of information.
So why did you talk about retention and terminology?
Because retention of when the children are into to solve a problem and they cannot recall information given, they cannot retain the information. It's similar terminology. That's all.
But in some part of your study, you said that the application of the achievement test after a period of time, its application again, and the formulation of a question to reveal the effect of the retention is not a variable in your study, and you say that I think in procedure or.
It's part of the achievement. It will help them to achieve. Otherwise, if they cannot retain or recall information, I don't think they will be able to achieve higher grades.
I don't talk about recall. Recall is providing student or providing children the test after the treatment, directly after the treatment. But if you go for retention, meaning that you apply the test 2 times. One after the treatment, and then you wait for 2 weeks and apply the test another time. So did you do that?
No.
No. So
we did sampling. Yes, we did something. The sample that we did was we selected 10 students, and then we did the test, and then after 10 days we repeated the same test again. But that was not done to measure retention, to be honest. It was done as the.
But this will make a problem for the reader when you read this part of your explanation. I mean, if you use the retention test, you have to give more detail about that. If you didn't use it, so remove anything about retention in your study. So
it wasn't mentioned as a something that we are measuring. No, it wasn't. It was part of the theories that during through play, amygdala and the long-term memory and storage of information helps retain. Other than that, it was not a measuring point for us.
Okay. So page 15 to 17, term and variable, and chapter 1. 15 to 17, terms and variable.
Okay.
We are not familiar with dividing the variable of the study or into terms and variable, and so all your words or phrases that you want to you try to give it a definition or something like that should be a terminology of the study. So in this page, you talk about the variable as something different from the terms. So when you're writing the definition of terms, in fact, you should not mean that the research variable only, but any word or phrases related to the nature of understanding your treatment that have been developed. So, for example, if you use gamification element, for example, if you use your gamification element, such as badges or a leaderboard or something like that, or you use a gamified environment that is a competitive environment or a socializing environment. So you have to give a definition. What do you mean by competitive environment, and what do you mean by socializing environment? So I think you should not separate the terms and variable as two types of terminology in your study. So just terms or terminology of your study, and give all the terms used in throughout your study under this title.
Should I just remove the word terminology then in terms of study?
Don't use variable. don't use the word variable.
Okay.
Variable and terms are the same. So terminology of your study. And the definition of feedback, you go for definition of feedback. The definition of feedback here, gamification environment have a lot of element and you like leaderboard, like badges, like point, like levels, and
Ranks.
all this.
Ranks.
All this we name it as feedback. So feedback to show achievement, feedback to show how the student move from one level to another level. Okay. So the definition of feedback is should
I think
be
we're going to delete it all.
Yes, I prefer to delete the term because all your gamification environment is based on feedback.
Okay.
In chapter two, I give you some general points about the chapter and not go for the chapter page by page or okay. So chapter 2 should be written in analytical style and not descriptive style. I mean, the literature review is a critical evaluation of your material. You find to justify what and why your study necessary and to be conducted. So it should show, this chapter should show what has been done before in your area of interest, what others said. So what's the relevance between what others said and your study? So making the connection between your study and the work of others, agreement and disagreement between your work and the work of others. So in writing in analytic style, you can show the reader the gap of your research, why your research was done, why your research was done. So unfortunately, when you read this chapter, I found that the writing style in this chapter was totally descriptive, and not analytic. So you need to show your skill in all these issues in writing. The literature.
Can you please look at the page 22, the second paragraph, before the meaningful gamification? After each of the descriptive parts, there is like a summary that links between what the researcher will do differently than what is described. Mm-hmm. Is this considered as part of the links that you're looking for?
I read the chapter very carefully, and I found
it's a very long chapter. It's a very long chapter.
I don't want to stop on a page in the chapter or something like that, but I read
my
it
question
in general.
My question is, will this be considered as
I need Marwa style in the writing. Okay. Marwa style. To give your comment on each paragraph on.
Okay. Okay.
So.
Okay, I understand. Okay.
Okay. Let's go for chapter 3, research methodology.
Okay.
In research methodology, chapter 3, page cover.
Yes.
Page cover. So it is necessary to rewrite the subheading of the third chapter. So what written in the table of content be the same as here. I mean, there's a difference between the subheading of the third chapter cover and what is written in the table of content of the study. So, page 75 in independent variable. 75.
Okay.
Sorry, 74. The independent variable. So the gamification was defined as independent variable. Is it right? Gamification is an independent variable.
Okay. It's the dependent.
So
okay. The research
Is-
variables. Yes, I'm there.
yes, is gamification the independent variable of your study?
I think it's the use of games, yes. And its effect.
No, gamification is an experimental treatment that compared with non-gamified environment. Is it right?
True.
So you compare a traditional learning environment with a gamified learning environment. So the variable can be defined more clearly as type of learning environment. Type of learning environment. So the variable is the type of learning environment because you compare the two environments. One with gamified environment and the other is non-gamified environment.
Okay.
So page 74. So you said in the the duration of your experiment extended over a period of approximately
6 weeks.
6 week. What does that mean? Or you want to say only 6 weeks?
Only 6 weeks.
Only.
Yes,
Okay.
only 6 weeks.
Okay, page, the same page in table number 3.1. Table.
Okay. Yes.
First, the table title should be placed only without mentioning the word to clarify. So you should delete the word show. So table show. So we delete the word show.
Okay.
Second, the wording of the table title. The wording of the table title must be modified to become distribution of sample by group size by percentage.
Distribution of sample.
Distribution of sample by group size by percentage.
Okay.
Third, did you use ABA style?
The ABA format, yes.
Version 6 or 7?
6.
6.
Yes.
Okay. I try to, you know, I mean, I made my amendment. Here in my report, sorry. In my report, I thought you use ABA7, so I tried to give you some comment about that. Okay. The table title is formatted. The format of the table title should be changed. So the number of table 3.1 should be in bold style.
Yes, distribution of
And
sample by
left
group size and percentage.
left side of the page.
Okay.
should be on the left side of the page, in bold size. And then the title of the table should be in italic,
Okay.
in italic form.
Okay.
So also the format of the table, the format of the table must be open from both sides. Must be open from both sides with the deletion of internal line and column inside the table.
So no borders.
No.
Okay. All right, I fixed it.
So this detail I will attach it in my report to help in formatting the table and the figures.
Okay.
Okay.
I fixed
Page 75. The
it.
research
And this
tool.
applies to all tables, right? This
Yes.
applies to all tables.
Yes. Yes.
Page.
In page 55, the research tool section.
55.
Yes. Research tool section. There must be sufficient details for the reader to understand what's the purpose of your test. What's the purpose of your test and the type of its vocabulary.
Okay.
And the content element in the learning environment that covers the aspect of the test, the goal to be achieved, and the relation to the test questions, and the test specification table, as well as method of that follow to calculate the external validity and external validity.
Is this all in page 55 or 75?
75. When you talk about the research tool.
Yes.
In pages 76 and to 77, instruction design and development.
Yes.
Instruction design. You go for the ADDIE model. You go for ADDIE model, and you the ADDIE model is 5-stage analysis and development and the analysis, design, development, and evaluation and or implementation. So in the analysis stage, the main problem that the researcher did not or you did not do this analysis. You did not do this analysis in the analysis stage.
Yes, because it was already made and tailored program.
Yes. But you had to clarify the matter in connection with your research. For example,
Okay.
for example, how to analyze the sample.
Can I just state that it was, this is what the model is requesting. However, we used an already tailored model, so we did not use that stage.
You didn't use this stage? No, you have to use this stage because you have to explain how did you analyze the characteristics of your sample. How did you analyze the environment and the difficulty in the environment, the devices that you use in the environment, and so you cannot delete this stage.
No, I mean, I didn't.
But you can choose.
Clarify.
Yes. Yes.
To clarify which parts that we are focused on that stage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So, for example, regarding the analysis of children characteristics, you can say something like that. I used an electronic questionnaire, for example, and this questionnaire was distributed to children in kindergarten and with the help of teachers of these schools. A number of 70 or 50 children responded to the questionnaire. A permission was attached with this questionnaire to agree to participate in the study experiment with the freedom to withdraw from the experiment at any time without giving any reason. You can say that the questionnaire include personal data such as age, place of residence, family, social, economic status. For example, some information about learner previous experience with computer and internet, possession of mobile devices or something like that. So this a number of a type of data you can put in the children characteristics or the analysis of children characteristics. Pages 76 to 77, task analysis. When you analyze the educational tasks, you have to go through the general topic you used and you taught, meaning that what was educational content? How did you divide this content into levels, for example, and the tasks? What's the number of this educational unit or levels, and what are the subject or the educational tasks you ask students or children to finish, or in the remaining is the general objective. The general objective. How many? How was the general objective of your content or your study?
General objective was the academic achievement, the increase in academic achievement and the scores that they obtained.
No, not your title of the research. I mean, you have a content and you give the children a content. So you have to set your general objective for this content and then instruction objective.
Yes, yes.
So also you have to define the determining target behavior of using gamification. I mean, before building your environment, the target behavior of gamification of the learning environment must be determined. For example, does the gamification approach use address participation behavior, for example, or effort or monitoring in the environment, or engagement? So what is the target behavior of using the gamification? It should be defined, because defining the target behavior can achieve can make you select the suitable gamification element use. For example, if your target is making or if the target behavior is enhancement of competitive behavior between your children, for example. So I can use the leaderboard. Each children sees a leaderboard, and if I see my order in the leaderboard is low, so I can be more active in the environment to be higher than this level.
Yes.
So
you can use it as behavior as well for motivation and behavior.
Yeah, yes. So your target behavior should be determined, and
this should be determined in which area? It should be. Is this where to place that part?
Where to place in the analysis? In the analysis part stage. Analysis stage. Or you can do it in the design also, but it's preferred in the analysis stage. So also you have to determine the constraints in the environment. So the total goal is to identify the available resources, determine the programming and physical safety of your environment. In the design stage, you should first start with building educational goals. Building your educational goals in the design stage. Then after that, you have to design education. How did you design educational content, assessment, combined activity, designing content delivery methods? All this should be clarified in your design stage. Yeah.
Okay.
Designing the learning strategy in the environment. What was the main learning strategy in the environment?
Okay.
So the gamification is based on competitive, for example.
And could be collaborative as well. Could be competitive and collaborative as well.
So what's the tool used in the environment to enhance competitive between children? What type of elements you use?
It wasn't competitive. It was just something
Collaborative.
It was a collaborative environment because they played in groups. Two would compete against.
So did you build, for example, a WhatsApp group for discussion or forum or something like that to enhance collaborative activities?
It was a meeting in after school every day for 10 days. We had 1 hour of meetings after school from 2:30 to 3:30, and that was a compensation for the teachers who did that. There was also like a hall of fame. It was a wall of fame. They kept the names of students who achieved higher rank clear at the hallway of the school. It was a very happy time for the children and very beneficial to see the reward displayed outside in the class in the hallways.
Okay, Marwa, you should also provide the reader with some pathway to how the learner
clear, yes.
How the learner goes through the environment. How the teacher, what is the teacher path in the environment? If there is an admin or okay, so we need to shape the flow of the general admin path or
more detailed explanation on that part.
Yes. So so we need also some details about design pattern of interaction. Design pattern of interaction within the environment, like interaction between children, or peer interaction, interaction with teacher, interaction with content, how the interaction with the interference of the environment, interface with the technology interaction.
Okay.
We need something, also some details about designing a system of calculating and reviewing grades and inside the environment.
It was done manually, and then it was placed on an Excel sheet. Teachers.
No, I don't know. I don't speak about your results. I speak about the activity inside the environment. How
Yes,
did you grade it? How did you grade it?
that's
How
what
did
I
you
mean.
how did you put these children at the top of the leaderboard? And
Every
these
day when they
depend
finish,
on points.
and the points they achieve at the end of each session,
So
it was
you should
calculated.
so you should provide some details about this grading system or how you calculate.
Okay. I think yes, I think it's not explained well. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
In the development stage, stages 3, development stage, from page 78 to 79. And you talk about, you said that this stage, namely, based on the analysis and the design stage. Is that right?
The implementation or the development?
Development.
It's the production of the testing.
Production of.
The testing.
So the development only depend on the testing, the development of the testing? No.
I think it depends on both points that previously mentioned.
This stage is based in the two previous stage. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Namely analysis and design. In the development stage, the condition and specification that were determined in the analysis and the design stage are transformed in actual product.
Yes.
Or actual environment.
In
So,
the development.
so you go through, in this stage, you go through presenting a number of mental questions at this stage, which are in fact, I didn't understand. So can you explain this?
Is the time frame being adhered to the relation of what has been accomplished in the terms of material? Are the creating materials as per scheduled? Again, we did, it was 6 weeks, but each week, it was the target lesson. It was a target topic. Each week we divided in all the 6 weeks, each week we will have 1 or 2 targets to adhere within the game.
Marwa, this information is not related to the development of the environment. This is a procedure. How did you apply the or go through the environment?
But when I mention the scores, doesn't this give me the development, or no?
No, you didn't. You didn't. You didn't write about calculating the score or something. Okay. In general, you should include in this stage, from my point of view. Okay. You need to put the following detail. Okay. How the environment database will produce. So you said that the environment is ready-made. So you don't need this. How will the design and multimedia element produced? Okay, the content is really the content. I think you give the reader the content in many forms. Okay, how did you produce this content? The video, if there is animation or something like that. How did you produce it? Or you just choose it from YouTube or make editing on it? So you have to provide detail about that. How will the design and multimedia element to produce it? How are the basic pages built for the environment, the software? This should be here in this stage.
Okay.
How are the reaction and back-end response to the environment? If it is programmed, but you said that it is ready-made. How the navigation pattern or what's the navigation pattern shape in the environment? What are the color of element, the size of element, the movement system of the element, sound effect or something like that? What is the final output of the environment? All this should be
To
here.
explain exactly the game. You want me to explain and elaborate on the game
Yes,
exactly from
Yes.
beginning to end? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Also in the fifth stage evaluation from page 80 to 81, the researcher did not provide details about how the pilot experimentation of the environment took place. He should give details about the piloting. الدراسة الاستطلاعية,
Yes,
the
we did it.
piloting.
Yeah.
Should give more details about the piloting.
Was it in the procedures? No. I think I
In-
mentioned it, but maybe not in the right place.
In short, you
Yes.
mentioned it in short. Yeah.
Okay.
So
More
you
details.
have to add some details about it in page 80 or 81. Building is achievement test, page 81. The process in the process of contracting the achievement test, it is necessary to change the three headings specified under the test. You said setting test instruction, score estimation and correction methods, and validity and reliability. So the test building procedure should include the following: a written paragraph first, a written paragraph showing the definition of the objectives of the test, the type of test questions, the number of questions, and how those questions were distributed to achieve the goals of the studies, and finally the instruction for the test. Then after that, introductory paragraph about the objective of the test, the type of test question, the number of questions, and how these questions were distributed to achieve the goal of the study. And finally, the instruction for the test. After this introductory paragraph, the title of the validity of the test is placed. And you place all the information about validity, and then another title, reliability of the test, and the information about the reliability of the test. When you go to page 82, the current research needs. The current research needs. What did you mean by the current research needs? The title is strange for me.
Page 82.
The current research needs.
How to actually perform the research. What did we need to perform and fulfill the research? Requirements. The requirements of the actual steps and requirements to
this part, Marwa, should be placed in analysis stage.
Analysis stage?
Yes, analysis stage, at the beginning of the procedure chapter.
Okay.
While studying,
I'll cut it.
Yeah, while studying, page 83.
Okay.
I give you some feedback about that, about the detail of the pilot studying.
Yes.
So it needs more clarification. We need here to naming the most important comment and the notification of the content gamification environment. What are the most important comment of children on the study tools?
The pilot study.
Yes.
Okay.
We should give us some feedback about student comment or teacher comment or
Okay.
Comments on ethical controls, page 83. With
Okay.
regard to the regulation and ethical consideration, I have a comment. This part of this section should be written as follows. You first you have to write a title first, name it institutional approval. Institutional approval. And this is for approval from the place of or university or the university council.
Okay.
And the second matter is a request for approval from authorities in which the research is applied. So you have to approve it. One from the University of Cairo University in American University in Indiana or the place you for PhD, and another approval from the place you
The school itself.
the school, yes, the school.
Okay.
But other important things that research cases, there should be approval from the sample or the children or their mother or parents. Because
why would that be essential if it's within the school timings and within the school?
Why? It is
not it's not
if you read ABA, if you apply any research in a group like your groups, children with in kindergarten, you should take or you should seeking approval from not the children, from their parents. So there must be a letter of permission submitted to the student and parent stating the following: the goal of the experiment, and then the student role in the experiment, and then data that collected from the student or the children, how to store the data and information, and data sharing criteria, and then the student freedom to withdraw from your experiment at any time during the course without any procedure to having an effect on their evaluation, grades, anything similar to that. Okay. And this declaration or permission should be written in a form named consent form. Yes. Be written and signed by the researcher and the student or parent. Okay.
Yes.
And in displaying the screen of your environment at the end of the chapter 3. This is not the place to putting the environment screen. The screen should be implemented in each stage and each detail of your design. Okay.
Should be in the design. This should be in the design part then.
In the 5 stage of from analyzing from the analysis stage to design stage, development stage.
Yes.
Okay, chapter 4. Chapter 4. In the introductory paragraph in this chapter, you should at the end of the introductory paragraph, that's the timing of the research. Look at the
Page
end of
90.
the first. Yes,
Page 90.
the title. Yes, the title. Yes, the title was supplemented with a phrase in the second semester 2021. This is not the goal of the research, but it is a timing of the application to research. So if you so please delete it or start a new phrase to mention the timing of your research application.
Okay.
In writing, in presenting your research result and discussion and commenting on the table and the figures on the part of presentation of result should be redesigned. You first write a paragraph like that. The result will be presented in the light of research question on hypothesis. Then you say the current research was designed to reveal the effect of two types of learning environment, gamified learning environment against a non-gamified learning environment on academic achievement of kindergarten. In order to reveal this effect, descriptive statistics were used in the light of average standard deviation of the two groups. Then the significance of the differences between the two groups using analytical statistics are used. This is an introductory paragraph. I wrote it in the report. So the result in the current research are presented below in 3 sections. You should present the result in 3 sections. First, presenting the result of the difference between the pre-post test application of the experimental group. Pre-post for the experimental group. The second is presenting the result of the difference between the experiment and control group on post-test. Third, presenting the result of the effectiveness of the study using Blake formula. You know Blake formula? For measuring the effectiveness of the treatment.
And look it up.
So question 1 and 2 will be deleted from the result section. And then we divided the result section into 3 subsections. Like section 1, effect of gamified environment on academic achievement. Section 2, effect of type of learning environment on academic achievement. 3, effectiveness of gamified environment.
Okay.
When presenting your result section, you write first the question. So, and presenting the hypothesis that related to this question. Third, presenting table for descriptive analysis for this hypothesis. Fourth, commenting on descriptive statistics. You give some comment on the data in the table. Fifth, a statement indicated the need to test the hypothesis with analytical statistics. Third, displaying the result of t-test for differences. And seventh, verifying the existence to which the null hypothesis or alternative hypothesis is true. In discussion, finally, in discussion, discussion part. The discussion part should contain 5 subsections. 5 subsections. Section 1 or section should focus on supporting the original hypothesis, if your results support the hypothesis or not. Then section focus on similarity of your result with others. بمعنى إن عربي ربط دراستك بدراسات سابقة.
تمام.
Interpretation of result يعني interpretation of result يعني meaning تفسيرك انت، مش اعتمادك على الدراسات بقى، انت بتفسري ايه، ممكن تعطي تفسيرات زياده.
تمام.
generality of result تعميم بتاع النتائج بتاعتك، ثم implication of your result. Implication means discussing implication for future research, for programs, policies. This is the 5 part should be placed in discussion section.
Okay.
Finally, this is all that can be said regarding your current
I'm very
study.
grateful. I'm very grateful for your time. Honestly, I'm very, very grateful for your time and your feedback. It's very valuable. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Marwa. Thank you. So I finally said that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you.
Really, it's a very educative and very fruitful discussion, academically and in all aspects. Yes, Marwa, you have to reconsider all the comments you received, either on a statistical or in writing or in the APA. Dr. Muhammad Farag, really, he's a very specialist in APA, really. The most one. Yeah.
Very thorough. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Dr. Hanan gave a lot of comments on the methodologies and the yes, really. Thank you so much. I'm afraid that Dr. Abdel Nasser, I think maybe something happened with net. I'm not sure, because just 10 minutes ago, a sudden interruption happened for the internet. He's no longer on the panel. I don't know why. So I think now, Dr. Farag, if you would allow us, we can make a break room for the discussion, and then come back to prospective Dr. Marwa, and come back to say it's okay. May I ask the IT for the break room? It's okay. Welcome everybody again. Is anybody see the decision before I before sharing? Okay. Nobody. Okay.
أنا خلصت القرآن كله دلوقتي.
طيب عاوزة بقول لك إيه، عندك كلمة أخيرة قبل النطق بالحكم؟
الرحمة الرحمة.
طيب اوكي بروفيسور محمد
أنا حقيقي شاكرة جدا لمجهود بروفيسور محمد ودكتورة هناء، ربنا يبارك فيكم. أشكركم حنان، أشكركم جدا، ومتشكرة جدا لوقتكم الثمين ومعلوماتكم القيمة جدا حقيقي. يعني كنت أتمنى أن أتعرف بكم من زمان.
في ظروف أفضل من كده.
حقيقي والله اتشرفت جدا حقيقي.
احنا كمان سعداء بمناقشتك يا مروه، وما شاء الله لسه كنا بنقول للدكتوره امنيه ان الديفنس بتاعك حلو جدا، وانت فاهمه الموضوع ومستوعباه جدا، وده كله اكيد يعني اثر على درجاتك بطريقه ايجابيه.
يا رب ان شاء الله.
ما شاء الله فعلا ما شاء الله. ما انا قلت لحضراتكم يعني هي من الباحثين المتميزين اللي في المجموعه بامانه. she's so committed وهارد وركر وكين. يعني عايزه اقول لحضرتك هي في شهر نوفمبر، فكريه يا مروه لو صح في شهر نوفمبر انت بعتي وكنتي عايزه تناقشي، بس لما حضرت كذا مناقشه في انفكشن تكنولوجي وفي عربي فور نون نيتيفز وفي كذا حاجه، وكان اظن في مانجمنت برضو، لقيتها هي من نفسها اللي قالت نو ستوب هولد. لا انا I need to revisit again and stimulate my idea and revisit again all what I did and I need to look from another perspective. صراحة أنا احترمت فيها first of all إن هي حاضرة علشان تستفيد حتى لو في مجال آخر، بس هي حاضرة عشان تستفيد. number one. number two إن she's committed to herself. يعني هي شايفة إن عندها التزام مع نفسها how to be perfect, how to commit and how to يعني to gain more and how to be to fulfill all the requirements. فبصراحة إن الحتة دي في حد ذاتها، وشوفوا حضرتك من نوفمبر لغاية دلوقتي يعني إحنا بنتكلم في إيه حوالي شهور عشان الريفيجن اونلي، مش لسه
هديناها وبنيناها تاني من الاول.
فحقيقي ميرسي جدا ليكي يا مروه، مجهود هايل، وميرسي طبعا يا دكتور عبد الناصر اكيد يعني بذل مجهود.
طبعا
ده اكيد. احنا خدنا وقت دكتور محمد فرج، احنا اسفين يا دكتور. المايك مع حضرتك، اتفضل. هو الدكتور معانا ولا دكتور لسه في الروم؟
لا معانا بس
ميوت. دكتور حضرتك المايك ميوت.
ايوه انا حابب ان حضرتك الانونسمنت بتاع
لا ماليش دعوه، لا ماليش دعوه،
حضرتك تتفضلي يعني.
لا يفتى ومالك في المدينه، ده حضرتك القاضي اللي هنا. ما
نقولوا عربي،
انا قلقت دلوقتي، قلقت جامد.
نقولوا عربي ولا انجليزي؟
ولا قولوا باي حاجه، بس انا ولا عشان انتوا الاثنين في مصر يعني، انا بعيده فيعني ما تقدرش.
طيب هو عموما يعني كفايه انجلش عشان ممكن الناس زهقت من فاولا انا بشكرك يا مروه على المجهود اللي انت بذلتيه وعلى الجهد اللي انت بذلتيه في الرساله. الحقيقه الرساله متميزه، ومش معنى ان احنا اتناقشنا في تفاصيل كتيره واخذت الرساله وقت في المناقشه معنى كده ان فيها مشكله، لا، هي مجرد ان احنا بنحاول ان احنا برضو نكمل اجزاء معينه بحيث ان في الاخر الفاينل برنت بتاع الرساله لما يتحط في مكتبه يبقى شيء مشرف ليك ومشرف للجامعه اللي انت واخده منها يعني البروفيشنال بي اتش دي. فاحنا بنشكرك، الشغل متميز واحنا اتفقنا عليه واتفقنا على حتى ردودك. انا لما كنت مثلا بناقش الدكتوراه بتاعتي في المملكه المتحده او في انجلترا كان اهم حاجه يبقى هل الشغل بتاعي ولا لا، يعني الشغل انا اللي عامله ولا. فقدرتك على انك تدافع لا الشغل بتاعك والشغل انت فعلا قمت بيه، وده كافي يعني، كافي انك انت خدت خبره جيده في انجاز هذا العمل يعني، فبنشكرك عليه. واحنا كمان بنقدر هذا المجهود اللي انت اللي عملتيه، وبنقول لك ان التقدير اصلا خاص بالرساله. يعني اولا بنشكر الجامعه، نشكر الدكتوره امنيه جدا على التقديم في بدايه نشكر جميع العاملين في البرنامج الدكتوراه وفي القسم العلمي والجامعه. فبنشكركم جميعا على هذا اليوم واللقاء العلمي المتميز. ودلوقتي جه الدور ان احنا يعني نعلن النتيجه بتاعت مروه. احنا النتيجه مروه اتفقنا على ان الرساله تقديرها امتياز. تقدير الرساله
ربنا
امتياز.
يخليكم.
وادي التوتال جراد بتاع الرساله 90%. 90% الرساله
Thank you
اكسلنت.
so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so
فألف
much.
ألف مبروك. وكنا نتمنى
أشكرك.
الدكتور عبد الناصر يبقى موجود، لأن حتى أنا ما سمعتوش، أنا مش عارف صوته عامل إزاي الدكتور عبد الناصر. فكنت مستني أسمع حتى الكومنت والفيدباك بتاعه.
أشكرك يا دكتور، كتر ألف
يعني
خيركم. متشكرة جدا على ما كل الخبرات اللي حضراتكم اديتوها لي النهارده. حقيقي يعني أنا فعلا I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. ومتشكرة جدا جدا جدا.
احنا اللي بنشكرك، وبنشكر هيئة الإشراف، وبنشكر إدارة الجامعة وإدارة الكلية والقسم، وإن شاء الله دايما في تميز كده يعني.
أشكرك.
فبنشكركم شكرا جزيلا يعني.
شكرا لحضرتك.
خليكوا ألف
مبروك يا
مروة.
مروة.
ألف مبروك.
Congratulations.
مبروك يا حبيبتي.
شكرا. ألحق الفشار. شكرا لحضراتكم. متشكرة جدا ليكم. متشكرة جدا.
توفيق إن شاء الله. توفيق.
مبروك. شكرا تاني دكتور محمد فرج، شكرا دكتور حنان، شكرا دكتور عبد الناصر، شكرا لكل اللي كانوا موجودين. وإن شاء الله نهني الجميع وفي مناقشات قادمة بإذن الله. شكرا لحضرتك. ميرسي لي. السلام عليكم.
عليكم
السلام.
مع سلامة الله.
السلام.